When did you become the very thing you swore to destroy? Drank a ton of milk when I was a kid because I believed lactose intolerant people were wimps. Lo and behold, I'll ess my pants if I have a glass of milk nowadays. There is lactose free milk, yo. That's all that we buy in this house. 3 kids, wife and me, all lactose intolerant. When I vacuumed up a Lego and was like, I make video games and 95% of my career have been on consoles. Had to help out a team at work a few years back with a mobile game, and they made me add in the bit where the pop-up comes up asking you to rate the game. I died a lot inside then. When I got put in charge of people at work, I said I was gonna be a cool boss. And then I realized that there's a lot more to it, and these idiots are effing up, and I have to answer for it. This hits home. Working from the bottom, you make good friends and you all swear you won't be that dickhead who is the boss. Then you get promoted and become that dickhead. The way I see it is to take the knowledge you got from your boss and don't do the dumb stuff you hated, but all in all you just gotta be the boss. Not a Mitchell Scott. I'll paste this here, replied to another comment, but figured you might want to rethink seeing yourself as the dickhead. Being a cool boss isn't reasonable. You do have to be the one to hold people's feet to the fire. But you can be the fair, honest boss who actually gives a ref about the people who work for you. I had 120 people working underneath me, and typically people saw me as a hard guy to work for, in that I always had high expectations. But they also knew that I did not micromanage them, and that I knew each and every one of them personally, and was able to better develop them as a result. As each of them move up over time in various other positions and places, I get emails, phone calls, and messages thanking me for helping them see what right looks like. I myself merely modeled my behavior after those who were my supervisors, and I believe I was able to influence them to be actually effective leaders as a result. That's ultimately the legacy I live for. Anyways, whatever the work is, doesn't matter, because no matter how much money you make, life is ultimately about the legacy you are able to leave improving the lives of others. Not about hitting the #1 spot on some report card. If you take care of the people underneath you, you'll hit that #1 spot as a side effect. Be that kind of boss. Won the 8th grade poetry slam by writing a poem about my anger towards my grandfather for drinking and smoking himself to death. By my 22nd birthday I was putting down 2 packs of cigarettes and a pint every day. Now I'm 3 months sober and clean from cigs though. Edit. Wow, thank you guys for the positivity, support, and rewards. It brought a tear to my eye, and I really needed this today. Thank you, kind internet strangers. I used to be anti-smartphone. Now if it's not by my side I go crazy. I bought Crocs and a weed whacker on the same day. End me now. 2 years ago, I put down new grass in the small part of the front yard that I own. I sat down, picked up a book and read a bit in the garden. When I looked up, my nephew from next door was rolling across my freshly laid down patch of grass. I told him to get off my lawn. I was 26. Age happens faster than you think. A few years ago I would say yo ironically to make fun of people who said yo. Now I start almost every conversation with yo dude. How long will it take people to learn this unbreakable law of the universe? Irony will always develop into sincerity, given enough time. I always said I hated people who were just content in their jobs and didn't want to rise up. I love the work I do, and I want to get to the highest skill set of it, but frankly I'm not sure if I'm interested in a real promotion at this point in my life. Edit. I see a lot of questions asking why I would hate people for being happy. Younger me was selfish and didn't understand happiness in a job, only money. In my previous career I practically killed myself to get and work at management level. Burned out at 25, even though I was passionate about the work. Now I'm in a new field and truly enjoy all of the work I do. And I get it. Putting in time doing something you enjoy and being appreciated for it means everything. That's how I've always been, cause what's the point in working yourself to death? That would be wasting my life and my time with my friends/family. There's so much I have left to do in this lifetime. A job just allows me to do those things. Edit. For those of you telling me climbing ranks equals more money, less work to do, I know, haha. I'm just in one of those fields where you want to stay close to the work. Therapy. In the late 80s, early 90s, I was a typical skater slash punk slash metalhead teen. I swore up and down I would never settle down. I didn't want some 9 to 5 life with the house and family. I'm happily married, have a great career, and love every second of it. There are times when I sort of wonder what my life would have been if I just kept doing what I was doing. But I'm pretty sure I would be miserable. Screwing around and partying is fun when you are 17 to 23, but in my 40s, F that. I'm tired. Edit for clarification. I couldn't be happier with how my life is and how it's going. It's not about making good money or having a nice house. It's about enjoying my life and enjoying being with my wife and daughter. I'm glad I didn't stick to those ideals of being the lone rebel. I'm sure it works for some people, but in the end it wasn't the life I really wanted. I didn't sell out as one person said. I found a better life, and I still skate. In my late 40s, I just don't do handrails or big gaps. I skate curbs and parking stops. I tried to quit smoking using Chantix in 2008/2009. It didn't work because the nightmares were so graphic and scary. I had to before I stopped taking it. I don't remember the first one, but the second one. I killed a guy by removing his limbs very slowly. It really grossed me out. Didn't realize I was capable of that sort of barbarity even in some unlocked portion of my mind. Now I do autopsies for a living. It's weird that element of my absolute worst nightmare is part of my day to day. Had a cop ask me to remove a guy's hands a couple weeks ago, and it's literally not even crossed my mind a second time until just now. That's when I realized my passion for dismembering bodies. Apostrophe. When I picked up smoking at the age of 17. Same here. But I took it up at 16. Best friend and I always swore we wouldn't, and we were constantly bugging her dad and my mum to quit. Both of us ended up as smokers and eventually both our parents quit. The day I told my daughter she can't have ice cream for breakfast. Similarly, the first time I answered the 5 millionth question why with, because I said so. It just came out uncontrollably. I didn't know how to stop it. Edit. For the curious and or judgmental, kiddo was 5 and was stalling on purpose so we wouldn't leave on time for school. They were asking why they had to put on shoes, followed by the "but why" game, sassy edition, without wanting the actual answers or reasons. We all know the game. When I realized I have a lot of the same toxic/abusive patterns as my father. Yep, same here. When I first met my now husband I had this realization moment when we were discussing something and I made him cry. I immediately had this understanding that I had just done what my own father had always done to my mother growing up. It was an epiphany moment where I was like, the whole time growing up I swore I would never be like that, and here I'm doing the same thing he did. It took a lot of work and help from my husband, but it took a while to essentially deprogram myself. We have a happy and healthy relationship now, and I'm thankful every day that he stayed and helped me become a better person. Comedy answer, Reddit account. Serious answer, my company's director forced me to accept a promotion to management. I always said I'd never be a pet person, but we are fostering a cat while its owner is in hospital and now it's 1 AM and I'm on the sofa with Buddy cuddling up to me and yeah, it's kinda cool. Early 20s. I never wanted to become an alcoholic. I'm now 31 and I will have a year alcohol free this week. Also trying to quit smoking. That's amazing. Good luck, you got this. 3. I used to hate grumpy old guys. Now, edit. Whoa. You guys flooded the ol' inbox on this one. Thank you for the awards. Now I gotta read all these damn messages. My entire life, while growing up, all I wanted to do was be a police officer. Received my bachelor's in political science and minored in legal studies and criminal justice. Received my master's in criminal justice. Scored top 5 in physical and written exams at every agency I applied. No criminal history and no previous drug use. I was denied by every single agency. Entered law school. Applied for an internship at the DA's office while in law school. Was denied. Passed the bar. and applied at the district attorney's office as a criminal prosecutor. Denied even though I had criminal law experience and my courses emphasized criminal law. Now I'm a criminal defense attorney. Edit. This blew up overnight. Thank you all for the upvotes. I'm not sure what the questions or conversations entail, but I'll try and get through all. My mother had been, and still is, violently abusive. I'm now extremely quick to anger and get really loud and aggressive about it. I'm in therapy still trying to break the cycle. Edit. I'm overwhelmed. You are all giving me more kindness than I've ever really known. Thank you so much, everyone. Just like most other people, I thought I'd always be super laid back, always up for anything, and super energetic for hours off 2 to 4 hours of sleep. When I was a senior in high school I worked a bunch of overtime on top of school and still went out with my friends. Now I work less hours, rarely have the energy to see my friends, and most of the time I feel like a grumpy old introvert. Edit. Thanks for the award. Edit 2. Awards. Very nice of you guys. When they offered me 6 figures and a vehicle, as in action figures and a Hot Wheels car. My parents are African, and they always made the food so effing spicy when I was a kid. Now, I'm like this meal needs more cayenne and scotch bonnets. When I became a parent, I used to hate poached eggs and eggs benedict. Boy, was I an idiot at it. Yeah I get it. I became an egg. It's a long story. When I decided that the younglings weren't all that worth having around, I played EVE Online from 2005 to 2010. I started out with a group that was strictly anti-pirate. We'd go to systems with pirate problems and try to help the locals. We eventually got entangled in a series of wars with a particular pirate corporation, and over time I developed a friendship with their CEO. It led to me and him going on pirate roams together, murdering defenseless Caribous for their stuff. I enjoyed it so much I turned my whole corp pirate. I used to make jokes about edgy people, but now I'm always sad and anxious, and I try to make light of it through depression jokes. Now my friends make edgy jokes about me. I installed Snapchat. I've honestly really come to like Snapchat. It makes it easier to stay in contact with friends who live really far away, but it feels a lot less performative and more personal than Instagram and other platforms. I vehemently insisted that leggings weren't pants and should only be worn with dresses or skirts. 10 years, 1 baby, and 1 pandemic later, sure, they're pants. They're practically formal wear at this point.